Today I have another facet from Brexit experiences from everyday life. Most people don't plan Passover until Purim is over. Michael Black, who has been a board member of the small Jewish community in Northern Ireland's capital Belfast for many years, had to start planning much earlier this time. He said, "At the end of December, when various people started talking about problems importing goods from Great Britain, I began to worry about Passover," said the 71-year-old, zooming in directly from his dining room during an interview with the Jüdische Allgemeine. Because of Brexit and the Northern Ireland Protocol, part of the EU-UK agreement, food and goods deliveries between the UK and Northern Ireland are subject to checks. In this way, according to the EU, the European internal market is to be protected against import abuse and the risk of incorrectly declared products. Northern Ireland remains part of the European single market for goods, not services, and is also part of the United Kingdom. Previously, the 65-member Jewish community had purchased its kosher products every 8 to 10 weeks from a Jewish butcher in Manchester. He hired a freight forwarding company that drove to Northern Ireland for other deliveries anyway and took the kosher goods to Belfast. The butcher also supplied Northern Irish Jews with other things, such as Mazze via a Jewish supermarket in Manchester. Restlessly, Black called the butcher in January and also spoke to the freight forwarder. He informed him that the controls at the border should not be a problem. However, when the next delivery approached, optimism waned. Although everything went well one time, the butcher had to use a complicated route to sell all the goods to the freight forwarder, who then resold them to the community in Belfast. Deliveries will be in the future, because of the complex codes and certificates that are now necessary, not possible anymore. Black and the Jewish community faced a dilemma. Is Passover in Belfast endangered? Yes. Will it even be possible to bring kosher goods to Northern Ireland in the future? He says, "In my opinion, it is part of religious freedom that a community must be able to source goods that are necessary for it," says Black. So he asked the UK Department of Agriculture, which is responsible for importing and exporting animal products, and the UK Tax Office. Neither of them saw any way of helping him. Black believes this is also because the community's problem is only a small one among the many Brexit challenges. Familiar with the British authorities, the community rabbi next tried his luck through his contacts. While attending a meeting of the Northern Ireland Government Committee on Religions, he raised awareness of the issues. MEPs then put him in contact with the head of Northern Ireland's top veterinary authority. He has a say when it comes to the import of animal products from Great Britain. Both he and others made promises to help the community. Black also spoke to the British chief rabbi and the Jewish umbrella organization, the Board of Deputies. But all of this was unsuccessful. Everything fizzled out somewhere, and we heard nothing more. Passover drew nearer, and Michael Black looked more and more desperate for new opportunities. Since Northern Ireland is still part of the European internal market, he finally looked across the still open border to Ireland. Black knew that the capital city of Dublin has a supermarket that sells kosher products. On request, however, he learned that the supermarket had the same problems as the Jewish community in Belfast, and that the import of kosher products from Great Britain had now stopped. In conversations with members of the Jewish community in Dublin, Black then came across a possible way out. The Jews there had contacted a kosher supermarket in Antwerp that is ready to deliver kosher products to Ireland on a regular basis. A small kosher shop is to be opened soon in Dublin to sell and store the products. Thanks to the mediation of the Jewish community in Dublin, the small Belfast community can now order their goods directly in Antwerp. They are then delivered to Dublin and stored there until Black picks them up. It's a 4-hour drive there and back for me, says Black. The only catch is currently that the journey must be declared as essential due to the corona pandemic. Because according to the Northern Irish lockdown regulations, you are not allowed to move more than 5 kilometers from your place of residence. Should I be stopped, then I hope the authorities understand. Saving Passover is an absolute necessity for our community, he says. Despite all the joy that Passover can now be celebrated in Belfast, something will be missing again this year, admits Black. Last year, because of the pandemic, our synagogue was only open twice, on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, and only with social distance. And as in 2020, the synagogue will have to remain closed on this Passover festival. But Black hopes that it will be possible to get together with the family. He has 2 grown children and several grandchildren and wants a seder with everyone, he says, before he gets philosophical. He said, I keep wondering whether all of this is somehow related to the story of the Exodus. But he'd rather leave such interpretations to the rabbi, he says, and waves him off. The most important thing is Passover is saved for this year. And I wish you all the best, and shalom. And another topic, far from that now, but still on that whole economy in the future route, is that RWE, a German energy company, once again, one of the world's leading companies in the offshore wind sector, is advancing its 1.4 gigawatt flagship project, the Sofia offshore wind farm. The company has made the final investment decision for its world's largest offshore project. A total investment of around £3 billion is estimated for the realization of the project, which is wholly owned by RWE. Work on the construction of the onshore grid connection is to begin this spring and work at sea in 2023. Completion of the offshore wind farm is expected in the fourth quarter of 2026. In 2019, RWE received a contract for difference, a CFD for Sofia, in an auction to promote renewable energies in Great Britain and achieved a price of 39.65 British pounds per megawatt and megawatt hour. That's the 2012 prices. And Tom Glover, the chief commercial officer for RWE Renewables and RWE UK country chair, said, with this decision we are reaffirming our commitment to invest in the expansion of renewable energies in Great Britain. We are making an important contribution to ensuring that the UK can achieve its ambitious expansion targets for offshore wind of 40 gigawatts by 2030. Today's milestone also represents a successful partnership with our suppliers and the local communities we are working with on this project. The Sofia project can create jobs and benefits for local citizens in the long term, while at the same time meeting the annual electricity needs of the equivalent of over 1.2 million British households from offshore wind energy. The approved project is located on Dogger Bank, 195 kilometers off the northeast coast of Great Britain. Sofia will have an offshore converter platform, and the electricity generated will be transported via a high-voltage direct current export cable to the entry point in Teesside, 220 kilometers away. The offshore wind farm will also have its own onshore converter station. A connection to the British electricity grid has already been secured. RWE is currently examining which port is best suited to carry out the long-term operation and maintenance activities of the future offshore wind farm from there. The suppliers have already been pre-selected for all the main components of the offshore wind farm, and the contracts will be concluded in the coming weeks. Siemens Gamesa Renewable Energy will supply 100 of its 14 megawatt offshore wind turbines, which will be ready for the market for installation on Dogger Bank in 2024. A consortium of GE Grid Solutions and Sembcorp Marine will deliver the high-voltage direct current transmission system for Sofia. Prysmian Group export cables, and the international marine company Van Oord was selected for monopile foundations and cabling within the park. The company will set up a logistics hub in the northeast of the UK to carry out the work from there. So you see, it's a really international cooperation. RWE is further expanding its offshore portfolio in Great Britain. In addition to Sofia, RWE is currently building the 857 megawatt offshore wind farm Triton Knoll. There they have a share of 506 megawatts. And in addition, RWE is driving 4 expansion projects, which together have a potential installed capacity of 2.6 gigawatts and are already in public consultation. The company recently successfully bid on 2 new offshore locations with a potential total installed capacity of 3 gigawatts. That was in the Crown Estate round for 4 offshore wind leasing auctions. And there you see, despite Brexit, everything remains international. Everything is very much intertwined. And so there's a German company that in several of the locations I called for the last auction is building more than half of what's going to be there. And not only building, but also keeping the business. And so we need each other. In a globalized world like this, we need each other. And so we have to find a way how to keep that working, although the UK is now a third country. And that doesn't mean to change the rules for third countries, just saying that. So the future will not be that the UK will get benefits of a membership while being a third country with all the restrictions of the third country. It's not possible. And everyone, I talked about a lot of associations recently who want that. It will not happen. But we will have to wait and see how everything will develop. And if you want to stay informed on that, please subscribe to my channel. Auf Wiedersehen.